You are 8 years old. The smell of smoke still clings to your hair. The thatched roof of your family's hut has collapsed in embers. The dogs ran into the hills. Your brother is gone, maybe captured, maybe worse. Your mother died at dawn with your name still on her lips. You do not know who set the fires, Tlaxcalan raiders or tribute-seeking Aztec soldiers. It does not matter. By midday, silence fell over your village. And then, the priests arrived. They call it Techiptla, chosen one. But no one asks you if you want to be chosen. Wrapped in scratchy white linen, hands bound gently like a gift, you are lifted onto a reed mat and carried away from everything you knew. The old women weep as the dust swallows you. They say it is an honor to serve the gods, but in their eyes, it looks like mourning. For the next 3 days, you travel through sun-scorched valleys and highlands, past maize fields and jaguar howls. At night, you sleep in silence, guarded by men with painted faces and eyes that never blink. On the 4th morning, the temple rises before you, a pyramid of stone and shadow. It watches you, judges you, owns you. You will not return home. They don't ask for your name. That part of you is already dead. Inside the walled compound behind the temple, a place no man but priests may enter, women in obsidian-dyed robes greet you without greeting. Their faces are weathered, unreadable. You are not the first. You will not be the last. They shave your head. The tiny hairs fall to the ground like old prayers. You are bathed in cold river water, scrubbed with maggi fibers until your skin burns red. Then you are painted with white chalk, not for purity but for anonymity. They call it the washing away. You are now a daughter of Coyolxauhqui, the moon goddess. She was once torn apart by her brother, a myth the elders speak in hushed tones, and now, in her memory, you will serve in stillness, silence, and sanctity. They give you a new name, Xochitl, flower, but it is not yours. It is a label, a placeholder. You will share it with dozens of others. They say the gods do not need to tell you apart. They only need to see you obey. The first ritual is not bloody, not yet. In the stone courtyard, under a sky thick with incense smoke, you kneel beside 13 other girls, some younger, some older, all equally terrified behind their still faces. A priest chants words older than the stars. Drums echo like distant thunder. You are not told what it means, only to bow your head when the bell rings. One by one, elder women step forward and mark your forehead with charcoal and crushed bone. This one says, she will serve the inner temple. Another, this one will learn the chants. Then, her hand on your shoulder, this one, for Coyolxauhqui. No reaction, no smile, just judgment. Later that night, alone in your woven mat bed, you stare at the cracked ceiling and try to remember your mother's voice. But it is already fading, replaced by the whisper of chants through the walls, by the cold breath of stone. You wonder what you did to deserve being chosen. You wonder what it will cost to survive it. The House of Women is not a home. It is a system. Built behind high stone walls, just beneath the shadow of the great temple pyramid, the Quiquacali, House of Song, houses the girls chosen for divine service. But there is little singing. You sleep on woven mats, side by side with others who do not speak. In the morning you rise with the sun but never look toward it. Your tasks are silent, grinding maize, fetching water, tending the sacred fires. Every movement is watched, every breath has rhythm. You are not allowed to run, not allowed to ask why. The only sounds are the scraping of stone bowls, the hiss of fire, and the muffled weeping of the new ones at night. Some girls are 8, some are 12. A few are already women, staring blankly at walls that do not change. Once a week, the matron walks the courtyard with a staff wrapped in feathers. No one speaks when she passes, not even the birds. You are told this silence is holy, that Coyolxauhqui hears thoughts better than voices. But you wonder, if she hears your thoughts, why hasn't she answered your prayers? There are rules, so many rules. Rule 1, never speak unless asked. The gods do not tolerate noise. Rule 2, never look a priest in the eyes. They are messengers of light, and you are unworthy of it. Rule 3, do not bleed unless commanded. If your moon blood comes, you are isolated until it stops. You are impure until the cycle ends. Rule 4. Do not say your old name. It carries death. It brings memories. Memories weaken devotion. Each girl memorizes these in silence. Punishments are not violent. They are ritual. A missed rule means fasting, kneeling for hours in the courtyard, or worse, being taken below to clean the chamber of offerings where the walls still whisper. You begin to measure time in repetitions. How many maize grains ground before dusk? How many cloths woven before the matron's shadow crosses your face? You no longer dream. You no longer miss your name. That part of you was burned with your village. Now you only ask one question each day. Will the goddess choose me? And silently, inside your bones, you begin to want her to. There is no friendship, but there is knowing. In the quiet hours, when your fingers bleed from weaving, another girl wraps your hands without speaking. You never learned her name. She doesn't know yours, but you braid each other's hair with trembling fingers and share the same hollowed-out prayers. One girl sings under her breath when no one listens, a lullaby from her mother, drowned in the lake. Another hides fragments of coloured feathers in a cracked jar behind her sleeping mat. Symbols, little rebellions, you never ask why. That would hurt. It'd be breaking the rules. There is no laughter, but sometimes you smile with your eyes when a woven pattern comes out perfect. A circle, a flower, a serpent. You begin to learn what cannot be taught, how to survive with your soul partially turned to stone. The matron says you are being prepared, that Koyol Sauki is watching, weighing. One day she will choose her servants. Not all will be worthy. You start to fear you will be chosen, and somehow you fear even more that you won't. One night, as you light the candles before the moon shrine, the shadows flicker across your face, and for just one breathless moment you feel something, a presence, a pull. Was it her? Was it you? You close your eyes and kneel. And for the first time since your mother died, you weep, quietly, so the goddess won't hear. The upper courtyards, where only the chosen may go, are colder even under the sun. After a year in the House of Women, your body has learned stillness. Your hands no longer shake when weaving. Your tongue no longer curls to speak your old name. You kneel without pain. You carry without complaint. And one day, just before dawn, the matron calls your name, the new name. Xochitl, she says without looking at you. The moon needs light bearers. You follow her past the silent corridor where even the birds do not sing. Beyond the woven curtains of magui fibre lies a new courtyard, one where you have never walked. A staircase spirals up toward the temple's inner sanctuary. At the top is the shrine of Koyol Sauki, a place only a few girls have ever entered. You remember their faces, the ones who vanished. They were not taken away, they ascended. That is what the matron says. But you wonder what else was taken when they climbed those stairs. You are scrubbed again, harder this time. Every part of you stripped, every blemish burned away with ash and lime. They clothe you in white cotton, embroidered with moons, serpents, and stars. Your hair, once regrown, is oiled and tied into sacred knots. On your chest they paint the bleeding spiral of the goddess, a symbol that once meant birth, now rebirth through service. The next ritual is not spoken of beforehand. You are led to a stone basin. Inside, ice-cold water, petals, obsidian flakes. The elder priestess cuts a line across your palm. The blood drips into the basin. They call it offering. You feel it as loss. Then the training begins. Dance without error. You must move like moonlight on a lake, fluid, perfect, silent. Sing without pride. Every chant must lift her name, not yours. Serve without identity. When you enter her shrine, you are no longer a girl. You are her breath, her will, her silence. You practice until your feet blister and your voice breaks, but you do not stop. They say the moon loves those who suffer beautifully, so you learn how to suffer. There is a ritual called Yolilistli, the taking in of the soul. On the eve of the equinox, the shrine fills with smoke. The high priest performs sacred chants while you kneel before the statue of Koyol Sauki, her decapitated body wrapped in jewels, her face carved in eternal pain. Each girl chosen must burn something personal in the sacred brazier. A doll, a necklace, a strand of hair. You have nothing. You offer your memory. They burn it anyway, with blue cornmeal and cedar sap, as the fire roars. Then the priestess anoints your forehead. Her hand trembles slightly, maybe from age, maybe from guilt. You are hers now, she whispers. From this day forward, you no longer belong to yourself. You sleep near the shrine, on cold volcanic stone. You light candles at dusk. You whisper chants before sunrise. You wash the bloodstains from the altar steps. You press your forehead to her broken feet over and over. And chants. Hard when the wind howls through the mountain cracks at night, you imagine her voice in it. Not tender, not cruel, just endless. You are her shadow now, a flower pressed flat against the stone. The sun never feels warm atop the temple steps. Here the air is thinner, not because of height, but because of what happens here. The altar stone is always clean, but you've scrubbed it yourself. You know its stains. Tonight is Huey Tequilhuitl, the great Lord's festival, when the gods are most hungry. You are told this is a day of celebration. The city below erupts in flutes, drums, and painted dancers, but up here there is only stillness and red stone. You are chosen to assist. The ceremony begins at dusk. You hold the obsidian bowl that carries the blue paint used to mark the chest of the offering. You keep your eyes lowered. The girl beside you is no older than 10. She does not shake. Her face is blank. She has been prepared for this her entire life. They dress her in hummingbird feathers. They veil her with gold-threaded cotton. She is beautiful. She is terrified. She has not spoken since the naming ceremony. As the priest lifts the obsidian knife, the drums rise. Her breath catches, a small sound, and in that moment the whole sky seems to pause. Then the blade flashes. You do not cry. You were trained not to. You only whisper the chant, Tloke Nahuake, in Ilhuacatl in Tlalticpac. Owner of the near and the close, receive her. There is a ritual even older than sacrifice. It is not written in codices. It is whispered, passed down by the elder women. The Moon Bride. Every year, during the coldest lunar month, a girl is chosen to become Koyol Saukwi's living vessel, not to be killed, but to serve in isolation, devotion, and silence until death. She is called Tlahuelpuchi, the light bringer, but her life is not light. Once chosen, she is led to the inner sanctum where no one may follow. Her meals are slid through cracks in the wall. Her voice must never rise. She is forbidden to speak, even to herself. Some say she sleeps on gold, others say she sleeps on bones. You saw one once, or maybe only her shadow. She was draped in white, eyes outlined in charcoal, hands trembling like leaves. She never looked at you. Perhaps she wasn't allowed to. The matron says to be chosen is the highest honor, but in the courtyard you sometimes hear girls begging not to be chosen. They are taken anyway. There is a room beneath the temple. No light touches it. No one speaks of it, not openly. It is called Tlilan Tlapalan, the place of black and red. Legend says it is where knowledge and sacrifice become one. But for the girls, it is something else. When one of you missteps, breaks a rule, bleeds at the wrong time, speaks an unsanctioned name, she is sent there to clean. You are sent once. The descent is slow. Torches burn in iron cages. The steps are too narrow. You count them just to distract your breath. The chamber is lined with murals, not of gods, but of girls. Bent, kneeling, eyes wide, painted red from head to toe. Above them, the goddess hovers, her limbs torn apart, her mouth open in a scream that becomes song. You scrub the floor, you smell old copper, you hear a soft hum, though no one is near, and when you turn toward the far wall, you see it, a small handprint, half-washed, left in ash, too small to be an adult's, too fresh to be ancient. You are not alone down here. You leave before you understand what the room remembers, but it remembers you. There are no funerals in the House of Women, no wailing, no chants, no farewell fires. When a girl disappears, her mat is quietly rolled up before sunrise. Her name, already not hers, is not spoken. Her belongings are burned or buried beneath maize fields. The next day, her place is filled with a new arrival. It happens slowly at first. You notice an empty bowl during the morning meal. You glance beside you during chants, and the rhythm feels off. Then you realize she is gone. The girl with the burn scars on her wrist, the one who whispered songs into her sleeve, the one who cried only once and never again, gone. You ask nothing, you learn not to flinch. To not wonder is to survive. But late at night, under woven blankets and moonlit walls, you remember their faces, their fingers on your braid, their eyes before the veil. And when you see new girls arrive with the same shaking hands you once had, you wonder, will they vanish too? Or worse, will they stay? One morning, you are sent to assist the scribes. It's rare, girls do not handle written things. But the temple is expanding and your weaving fingers are steady. You carry clean parchment, sharpen reed pens, mix ink with crushed beetles and resin. That's when you see it. A codex, half-painted, half-written. The pages ripple like skin. On them, figures of women, veiled and faceless, kneeling before altars. Behind them, flames rise. Beneath them, glyphs you cannot read. But the illustrations speak louder than words. One shows a procession of girls, all identical, all marked with the spiral of Coilsauqui. One girl breaks from the line, her figure scratched out violently, as if she never existed. You pause. A scribe notices. He says nothing, but the way he closes the codex, slowly, deliberately, tells you this page was never meant for you. That night, you dream of that girl, the one scratched out. You dream she still walks the temple halls. You dream she scratches her name into the walls with her fingernails. You wake up with your throat raw and your fists clenched. You do not remember screaming. Years pass, or maybe just moons. Time no longer announces itself. You've grown taller, your voice is steadier. You are no longer called Xochitl. Now the priestesses call you Guardian. You assist in rituals. You train new girls. You watch them weep on their first night and say nothing. But inside, something curls tighter. One evening, while fetching water near the edge of the temple wall, you find something. A bundle of cloth buried beneath the roots of an agave plant. Inside, a carved pendant shaped like a flower, charcoal writing on dried bark. A name. Citlali. You know that name. She was here once. The girl with the swollen ankle. The one who whispered stories about stars when no one listened. She vanished after the fire ritual last spring. And yet, here she is. In bark. In bone. In memory. You look around, heart pounding. Someone buried this on purpose. A secret shrine. A refusal to forget. You do something dangerous. You dig deeper. You leave a piece of your own. A thread of your sash. A lock of your hair. A smear of your old blood. Then you whisper your own name. The real one. The one from before. Just once. The wind picks it up and carries it toward the temple, and in that moment, for the first time, you feel seen. Not by the goddess, but by all the girls who vanished. You are one of them now, still breathing, still remembering, still here. Centuries pass. Empires fall. The great temple is shattered by conquest and earthquake. The gods are declared demons. The chants are silenced beneath foreign prayers. But the ground does not forget. In 1978, in the heart of Mexico City, construction workers digging near the Metropolitan Cathedral strike something solid, not concrete, not brick, but stone. A disc, 12 feet wide, carved in volcanic rock, Coyolxauhqui. Her face frozen in agony, her limbs torn apart, her silence speaking louder than any scripture. The Templo Mayor is rediscovered, and so are the bodies. Archaeologists descend with gloves and notebooks. They brush away dust with trembling fingers. They uncover burial pits beneath the old sanctuary, rows of bones, mostly children, mostly girls. Some are decorated, others are not. Some show signs of ritual cutting, others of disease, malnutrition, broken wrists. They find obsidian knives beside them, bracelets, hollow bird bones, and in one small cavity under the northern wall they find something stranger. Tiny etched figures, scratch marks, half-formed glyphs, not the official script but crude, urgent symbols. One repeated many times, the flower, over and over, scratched by hand, scratched by girls. Modern scholars debate what really happened in the House of Women. The colonial chroniclers were biased, the priests who survived the conquest rewrote history, and the Aztecs themselves recorded only what honored the gods, not what broke the girls. But the murals do not lie. On newly uncovered temple walls, hidden behind layers of paint and lime, restorers uncover scenes not shown in textbooks. Rows of girls kneeling in front of priestesses, eyes turned downward, hands bound in red cords. One mural shows a girl turned away from the altar, her face turned toward the viewer, a challenge, a warning, or a cry for help. In another chamber, high on the ceiling where no one could see unless they looked up at just the right angle, is a girl floating, not flying, not rising, but suspended, halfway between heaven and earth. She holds a flower. She bleeds from the mouth. Beneath her, a spiral. The same spiral burned into your chest. Even now, hundreds of years later, you feel its sting. You do not know if it's memory or guilt. You only know she is still there, watching. Today, tourists walk the ruins. Cameras flash. Guides speak in 5 languages. Children lick ice cream beside the skull racks, but beneath their feet, the stones breathe. Somewhere under glass lies a necklace woven from human hair. In a museum drawer, a bundle of parchment marked with a single glyph. In a classroom, a scholar reads from fragments and wonders aloud, were these girls willing? But you know the answer. You were there. Not in flesh, but in memory, in the girls who were silenced, in the names scratched into the roots of agave, in the bracelets buried in sacred soil, in the ashes washed from the altar steps. They did not choose. They were chosen, and still they endured. The rituals could erase their names, the priests could burn their toys, the goddess could demand their silence. But the stones remembered. And now so do we. You were 12 years old, your parents were gone, your name was taken, your body was offered. But the gods are no longer watching. Now we are. For every girl whose name was burned, for every mat rolled up in silence, for every handprint left in the dark. This story has been uncovered, not to glorify the past, but to remember the girls it consumed. History often tells us about empires, gods, and battles, but between those lines are the children, the daughters, the disappeared, and their silence still echoes. So we ask you, not as a viewer but as a witness, what stories are still buried beneath our feet? How many voices have we mistaken for silence, simply because we stopped listening? If this story moved you, if it made you remember someone, or if it reminded you of a name almost forgotten, subscribe to keep these stories alive. Share this video with someone who thinks history is only about kings and warriors. Comment below. What does remembrance mean to you? Because when we speak their names, even centuries later, we pull them gently back into the light. And for a moment, they are no longer forgotten.